Oopsie daisies. There we go. So, being a break-even trader is pretty much the worst thing in the world. There's worse things, but it's horrible. It's genuinely just fucking brutal. And especially as a man, I feel it's such a difficult place to be in because it's us that's fucking it up. Like, when we're losing, it's one thing. Yeah, losses are painful, but then maybe it might be the system. We don't actually have a profitable strategy, etc. Once we actually have a profitable strategy, which isn't that hard to have, everything else comes down to us and down to us actually showing up and doing what we know we need to do. And that's the really tricky part. It's because we know what to do, but we just don't do it. That's why it just hurts so much. And I was in this position for genuinely years. Like, I've had an interesting trading journey. I'm into my 6th year. And overall, I've actually passed more funding phases than I've lost. But I just could not make a withdrawal for the life of me. And I would just stay in challenges for ages, just going up and down and up and down. And yeah, just that there was just something broken. I just couldn't fix it. And really, I knew what I had to do, but for some reason, I just couldn't do it. And it was just a process of doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So eventually I took a break, paused and said, okay, look, let me come at this differently because clearly this just isn't working. Like, just keep doing the same thing over and over again. So I put together, spent some time compiling all the changes that I made when I came back from my break that actually led me to being profitable every single month since I've been back. Coming to my 10th month now in a row, just, and again, what I'm doing now isn't what I did initially. So what I want to talk about is those initial months. Like, what did I actually do? What changes did I make that actually made me go from break even to profitable? So I'm going to jump into the laptop and go through them. This is everything I could think of. And again, this is pretty, you could say basic stuff, but this genuinely, I don't want to say basic because it's important, and this is genuinely, I guess, to say this is actually exactly what I did, and it worked. So there's nothing really more to say. So as you can see, how I became profitable. So I'm going to go through these bunch of different steps here, and any of these tools, etc. I've got you can download that for free on my stand down below. The toolkit just for tracking the data, doing the daily report cards, etc., which I'll explain here. But I think they're very important to have those in place. So if you don't have them, you can use mine. So if you are break even, you either don't have a profitable system or you can't execute it. Simple as. If you don't have a profitable system, that's, I would say, easier to fix, because if you're not the issue, then it's just about finding an actual system and just copying that, or just learning from somebody. More so, I would say the issue is we can't follow our system, because for me, that was my issue. I couldn't follow my system. And what I was doing was I was changing my system and I was trying to optimize this and that was never the problem. The system was never the issue. It was me. So I'm going to talk you through how I made my first 20K on a consistent basis. And again, this is the important part, that how we make our first profits doesn't have to be how we trade forever. So the way that I made my initial first few withdrawals is not how I'm trading now. And I think that's very important. I think, at least from my own perspective, I had to trade initially a little bit differently to get the consistency going and to get that momentum, to rewire my beliefs, etc. So everything I did, first of all was took a break. So maybe that can be something. I didn't do that here, but a break definitely helped me. And again, I took months off, but you could generally just take a couple of weeks, however long it takes to reset your nervous system, just come back to an emotional equilibrium, just so we're like not a fucking crackhead that's just jumping in and out of positions. So first thing was reducing size. So I started off with 0.5%. And again, I wouldn't really say use demo because we want to have some skin in the game, but just dramatically reducing that size so that we're not emotionally attached to the outcome. First thing, super easy. I would 100% start off by doing that. Take a week off and then come back next week, reduce your size. What I did was I actually simplified my rules. So I actually just threw everything out the way that I was trading before and just went back to basics and just simplified things as much as possible. This, I would say, was a massive help for me because, again, yeah, simple rules always trump complex systems. So for me, I literally just went from trading a super complex 1 minute chart, like trying to get amazing risk reward, to waiting for the hourly to trade through psychological round numbers. If it closed below, I sold. If it closed above, I bought. Genuinely, that was all I did. For a period, I put on some EMAs there and used that as a confluence. My data told me that wasn't actually helping me, so I just removed it. But genuinely, I can actually show you. Yeah, this is super cool that I've actually got all the trades that I've taken still on my chart. And I wanted to record a video for like memoir's sake, and then I'm going to clear them all. But it's so cool. I can genuinely see all the trades that I took in this process of getting consistent. So you can see, look, I literally just would have the psychological numbers marked out. So the significant round numbers, again, these are just support and resistance zones, but even simplified even more, I just said, you know what, not support resistance, psychological double zeros. So you can see price closes below, I sold. Price closes below, I sold. I lost. Price closes below, I sold. But the important thing was every single trade I would hold to fruition. So you can see here, non-negotiable, hold every single trade to fruition. So I made a deal with myself. I said, once I enter a trade, I will hold it to stop loss or take profit. I don't care what happens. That was potentially the biggest thing, because my issue was that I wasn't holding the trades. I was closing halfway towards my stop loss to reduce how much I lost, etc., thinking that I was helping myself, knowing that I wasn't, but fucking thinking and just convincing myself that I was. And yeah, just then forever not being profitable. So yeah, even here, I remember here in this stage, I had just passed a new challenge or phase 1 or something. I came onto a new fresh account. Price closes above, I bought, lost. Price closes below, I sold, lost. I remember being in such a different mindset that, because up to this point I was holding all my trades, and it was the first time I'd ever done that. And even starting off a fresh account on back-to-back losses before would have just killed me. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, again, every time I start a new account, it's always first losses. I remember being totally fine with it and just thinking, all I have to do is just keep taking one good trade. Shout out Mike Bellafiore for that. Speaking of Mike Bellafiore, this book, so he's got a book, One Good Trade, but I've just got his new book. No, not his new book. I've just recently bought one of his old books, The Playbook. Honestly, Mike Bellafiore and those at S&B Capital, it's a prop firm in New York, for anyone that doesn't know. Amazing stuff. That book, One Good Trade, had the biggest influence on me out of any trading book. And I'm only maybe 10-20% through this book, The Playbook, and already I've learned so much. So highly advise. It's Mike Bellafiore, One Good Trade, and The Playbook. But yeah, going back to in this period, I remember my psychology just being completely fine and just thinking, you know what, I've got this. All I have to keep doing is just keep showing up and keep holding my trades. And then you can see here then, price comes up, I enter. Price closes below again, enter. I was in this trade for, I don't know, when did I enter? On December 6th, and I closed on December the 18th. So 12 days holding this. And before, I couldn't hold a trade for a couple of hours. I would hold a trade overnight. I couldn't sleep. I'd be up fucking checking it, and that doesn't necessarily go away 100%. And it's why I've now optimized and changed the way I trade. But in this period, it was necessary. I had to go through that feeling of just saying, you know what, I welcome the loss, and I'm going to hold this no matter what. And then, yeah, you can just see just super, super simple. Like we close below a zone, I sell. We close above, I buy. So simplify the rules and hold the trades to fruition. So stop loss, take profit doesn't make a difference. The important thing is holding the trade. And I emphasize this so much because it was my biggest issue. So I'm presuming it's going to be, and a lot of the guys that I've spoken to recently, I was surprised at some people that genuinely was never an issue. And for me, it's just alien because that was the one thing that I just could not do. I could not accept the loss, and that's it. It's not that we can't hold the trade; it's that we can't accept the loss. So again, I have that mental image of just like entering a trade and just like welcoming it. Like if it's gonna hit my stop loss, do it. Like fucking do it, bro. And it's such an empowering feeling because once we accept the loss as we enter the trade, and we're not wishing it to be a win or a loss or anything else, we're just accepting our fate. The losses don't hurt, and it's, of course they hurt a little bit, but we don't suffer. Again, it's the whole pain versus suffering thing. I did not suffer with these initial losses because I wasn't wishing for the end result. I was focusing on, okay, can I actually just hold this motherfucker? And yeah, it was such an empowering feeling being able to just, like you could say, not trade without fear, but kind of like just enter and just know I've got this. Like no matter what, if it's a loss, I'm going to show up tomorrow and do the exact same thing. And look, that whole non-negotiable of holding trades to fruition, look at this. Like this is October, 3 trades, November, 2 trades, December, 4 trades. I was taking as many trades as I would take in a day in a full month. Like going from trading 2-3 times a day to 2-3 times a month, which is fucking just, it was insane. And yeah, that whole thing of knowing that if I entered, I had to hold it. You can see there that I had some fear, let's say. Like I wasn't entering all the time. I was only when I was like, I'm going to say sure. We're never sure, but only when I really liked the setup was I entering. And yeah, and it was just really nice to not be thrown up and down, sucked in and out of this fucking one day on top of the world, next day fucking bottom of the mountain. And I actually felt like I had so much more energy because I wasn't being emotionally fucking raped by the markets every day by just making stupid mistakes. So trading actually became really enjoyable again, and I actually like was passionate about it, and I was able to do my post-market analysis. I was able to journal everything because I wasn't making mistakes. Because for me, it's making the mistakes is what actually leads me to feel like pure shit, and like then I don't do not my due diligence. I don't do what, like my admin, let's say, don't do my recap, etc. So by reducing the amount of trades I took, it really actually helped me to stay on top of all of my admin, my trading duties. So yeah, it took me 4 months to pass the initial account, but then I got that account, and ever since then I've had 1 to 2 payouts every single month, without blowing it in like an emotional wreck like before. And it just goes to show like the fastest way there is the slow way. It's the whole hare versus the turtle. Yeah, like genuinely accepting, okay, you know what, I'm cool with taking a couple of trades a month as long as I know that because I was always wanting to do it this month and this month and this month, but then 6 months later we're fucking back at square one. And playing the long game really, really does. I think it is the only way in trading. Like of course we can get lucky, like I have in the past, get lucky with a couple of trades, make a withdrawal. But if we want consistency, it is the slow way. It is the just brick by brick. And then yeah, like just going from couple trades a month, but just small size. At the time of recording this month, actually had a 13% month. And it's just crazy to think that this is what I used to genuinely dream of, but I was trying to do that without first doing the 1 to 2%. Like I was trying to make 10%. And again, it's the whole funding, like we're at the mercy of all this psychological warfare with these funded accounts, which is why I'm actually opting more now towards my personal account. And but just the whole scene, and we're just programmed. And I know it's less now because back in the day it was just FTMO and a couple of other ones where you had to do it within a month, and that's just fucked. Like 10% month is fucking like you're killing it if you do 10% month. Pardon my own 13. But like genuinely, I feel like I smashed it out of the park with this month. And that's just like the normal requirement that it used to be just to get funded. And it's like that's where the bar is set at normal, and it just fucks with our heads. Like if we could do that consistently, like that, that's like it's genuinely insane numbers if we're able to crank that out. And that's what was in my head is normal. So yeah, I just warped my perceptions of what was acceptable. And it leads into what I want to talk about next, which is the reduced risk to reward. So yeah, what did I have got here? Yeah, just humbling myself and allowing my nervous system. This is crucial. The whole nervous system element, because again, if we're trying to jump the gun, and it's the same with the risk to reward, same with how much money we want to make. We want to make thousands before we make hundreds. We want to hit a 1 to 4 before we hit a 1 to 1. And I used to genuinely look down on like 1 to 1s. I thought like, what the fuck, this guy can't trade. Me thinking that, looking at someone making money with a 1 to 1, I was judging them, thinking that they're a bad trader. Well, it was me fucking not making any money. And it's just so funny. And then I ended up like kind of going full reversal and genuinely taking pride. Again, pride is the devil, but genuinely just being gassed at myself that I was able to hit a 1 to 1, and that I was like just comfortable in my own skin. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to go for a 1 to 1, because the whole time I could always, I'm going to use the word lightly again, but predict where the market was going. Like it's not that hard to figure out whether it's going to be an up week or a down week. The only other option is a fucking consolidation week. Like we're either consolidating or we're expanding. The higher time frame tells us which way we're likely going to go. So it's a 1 to 1 is pretty easy to find. But my ego wouldn't let me take the 1 to 1. I had to have a tighter stop. I had to fucking do all this and that. So yeah, what the next thing is then is just, I did was reduce the risk to reward. So if you're trying to hit these 1 to 4s, 1 to 5s, like I'm working with some guys, they're trying to hit 1 to 8s, and it's nothing but arrogance. Like I was just an arrogant fuck thinking that I could do this without first doing the 1 to 1s, without paying my dues, without like earning my stripes. And again, it's like what I put here. It's not what we can do, it's what we can do consistently. That is the important thing. It's anybody can hit a 1 to 20. Like everyone's going to do that at some point if you just try enough times. Like you just like it's just, again, it's a game of probabilities. You're going to hit it sometimes. And it's dangerous doing that, because once we do that, then we think that we can do that every time and think, okay, well, what's the point in reducing my risk to reward if I could take 18 trades and I could just take 1 trade a month, even if I only hit one, and it's poison, absolute poison for us. So yeah, I reduced my risk to reward down massively, and genuinely for 3 to 4 months, as I said here, my average risk to reward was 1 to 1.6 after like 4 months of data. And yeah, and that was when I became profitable, and that was when I got consistent. It was when I just swallowed the pride, swallowed my ego, and just allowed myself to be real at where I was, because I was always, again, trying to do it too quickly, and also thinking I was somewhere that I wasn't. Thinking, oh yeah, because I've been trading for 4, 5, 6 years, that I've actually earned, or that I'm able to do that. That okay, yeah, I've put in enough hours, so I should be able to take a 1 to 3. Other people can. But nah, man, like I hadn't done it, so why was I thinking that time in the game does not equal to fucking what risk reward you can put on, if that's a That's an analogy we can use, but it genuinely doesn't. Like it's the whole like views ain't cash, time ain't cash. It really isn't. So then this was kind of the stuff. So simplifying the rules, reducing size, holding trades to fruition, and then reducing risk reward. So just kind of just contracting everything. I think that is almost, I would go as far to say, is necessary. Like genuinely, like man, if you've been profitable, if you've been break even for longer than a year, this stuff is kind of a no brainer. And again, I don't want to sound condescending whatsoever because I was fucking doing it for years, but it was when I had this firm conversation with myself that it actually, like, nothing changed. Nothing changes unless we do make these changes that hurt us, that make us feel shit. What feels shitter? Reducing your risk to reward or fucking just spending another 3-6 months looping, man? Like, what do they say? People change once the pain of change is worse than the pain of staying the same. And that was it, man. Like, it was just, I couldn't look myself in the mirror. And what helped me was having other people that I was responsible for. So it wasn't just down to me anymore. Me and my partner, it's like, okay, I can't keep fucking up, man. Like I know what to do. I don't want either of us to have to go back to a job. So it's like I had no option. And what I say, sometimes things don't work until they have to work. But that's sad. Like, why do we have to do something before we actually make the change? Like, why can't we just decide to make the change? And we can. We fully can just decide. Like, it's a fucking decision. Like, I made that decision to be profitable, and I've been profitable every single month since. And it was one decision. It's just like, you know what? Just look yourself in the fucking mirror and say, I am going to do this. And again, it's not just, it's one decision, but made every day. Like, every day we show up to be profitable. And there is days where I'm a non-profitable trader, and it's not because of P&L or anything. It's because I've done something that a profitable trader doesn't do. So for that day, I'm not a profitable trader. I might have closed early, or I didn't record my data for that day. On that day, I'm not a profitable trader. But I know that, so I then make sure, God damn it, tomorrow when I show up, I'm going to be a profitable trader, because that's who I am. I am a profitable trader. And just embodying that and then acting that, it's instantaneous. Profitability isn't away from you. It is there. You just have to choose to do the actions that day, today, tomorrow, the next day, next week, every single day. And that's the price we pay for that responsibility. But it's also, it's easy. Like, it's not easy. It's simple. The whole fucking cliche, not easy, simple. But genuinely, like, we know what to do. We know the arena that we've got ourselves into. Are we going to do what's required, or are we just going to just keep fucking jerking ourselves off, fucking imagining that we're traders, or fucking God knows what, like, just like feeding or fueling that stress addiction that we have. And it's a very real thing. Like, I was genuinely doing that. Like, I had so much stuff that I was doing. Like, I was fueling my stress addiction through the markets. I was fucking communicating with the universe, learning my lessons through the markets, everything but making money. So again, if that is the case with you, if you are potentially fueling some kind of trauma or stress through the markets, and again, this is very unconscious stuff, but just think, okay, if this is a real thing, again, I'm getting very off topic, so I'm just going to wrap this up, but we're here to make money. The reason that we're trading is to make money. It's not for fun, even though it can be very fun, but the reason is to make money. So there's certain things that have to get done in order to make money, so let's actually do them. First few things are these stuff here. So again, reducing size, etc. Next stuff is more process related. So this is stuff that we can do outside of the admin, let's say, and then the admin was the other thing that I was actually slacking on. So was doing my journaling like maybe 60-70% of the time. I would have told myself it was more, but genuinely it wasn't. Post-trade analysis, if it was a loss, I just didn't fucking do it, and it's the most important thing, study our losses. So I'll go through these one by one, but all of these I would say are necessary in the beginning. And again, I say the beginning of you deciding to be profitable. So I don't go into as much detail with all of this stuff right now, but I also don't know if I would have gotten profitable without doing that. So let me show you. So pre, during, and post trade analysis. So I had a bunch of templates that I would just ask me the prompts. Okay, so emotions, how am I feeling? If this happens, I will enter, etc. Key takeaways, and just every single trade, just going into fucking just writing essays about everything. And it helped because I wasn't taking many trades, because I knew I was writing so much about what I'm going to do, how I'm going to manage this trade, how I'm going to enter this trade, how I'm feeling now that I'm in the trade, how I'm feeling after the trade, that it was so much work that I knew I had to do all of that. So it really helped me to trade less. But yeah, just fully just going in and just diving in and saying, okay, how am I feeling? Because it changes throughout the whole thing. And again, I don't want to get stuck on this, but all of these sections here, if this then that statements, pre-post trade analysis, daily report card, this is all just forcing myself to ask myself the important questions. So again, yeah, emotionally, how am I feeling? If this then that statements, again, I learned this from Mike Fury. So this was more in the book One Good Trade. You can get the audio file on Audible, and I guess it's probably a free one on YouTube as well. But yeah, it was huge, and I learned this from that book, that if this then that statements, that like if price does this, I will do that, and it's like predetermining what you're going to do before it happens. So like an example, if price breaches and holds below the zone, I will short. If price breaches below then fails, I will wait for a new hourly closure. So I would have this written down in front of me, watching price. So once price closed below the zone, it wasn't like, okay, shall I enter? Shall I do this? No, I just fucking hit it because I'd already just written it down. And you feel fucking stupid. I did it a couple of times. Like I would write it down. If price closes below the zone, I will enter. Price will close below the zone, and I wouldn't do it. And you feel so much more stupid if you've actually just written it down. I felt like a dickhead. That it only takes 1 or 2 times to just fucking kick yourself back into gear and just stop saying like, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. So it really, really helps. Like you just feel like a fool if you don't follow it. But again, I read this book, I'm going to say like 2.5 years ago, maybe even longer, maybe 3 years ago. And I was aware of this, and I was doing it mentally, saying, if price does this, I will do that. It only changed once I actually put pen to pad or typed it out. Once I actually was looking at it, once I'd actually just written out, I am going to do this if this happens. And then if you don't do it, then you feel stupid. So for me, it really, really helps actually writing it down. Yeah, just going into excruciating details. If price comes back up to this H4 zone, I'll re-enter. If we get a clear hourly rejection at the EMA, I will enter, observe, stop at the level, etc. Then daily report card. So again, another thing from SMB Capital. Shout out fucking Mike Fury and the gang. But at their prop firm, they make every trader record a daily report card each day. So at the end of the trading day, you go through and analyze that day. So ask yourself, what did I do well, what didn't go well, and what to change for tomorrow? Just those simple, important questions. Nothing else, no extra fluff, etc. More detail can come at the weekly review. I used to have more stuff input here, and I figured out, okay, this is actually too much to do each day, too much admin. So I reduced it down to, yeah, what went well, what didn't go well, what will I improve for tomorrow? And this is a little fun thing, but this actually really helped me. Just having a little self-grading, so just reflecting myself from A to F. How did I perform today? It's just a little thing you don't want to have an F day, so you don't want to do something stupid. And if you do something stupid, you don't do it again the next day. That's not necessary, but just a little fun thing. And what I will say is this is the stuff that I did that got me consistent. Now I'm doing again, from this book, so it's in the name, the playbook. I had a playbook, again, created from listening to the One Good Trade, but after reading this, seeing the importance of the playbook. And the playbook is like your archive, your vault of screenshots of your ideal best trade setups. So again, I'll cover that in the future, but I didn't actually. Okay, the camera's just turned off. Movie recording has been stopped automatically. I don't know why. Let me just click it and see if it. Oh, okay, it's still working. Anyways, I don't know if that recorded or not. But anyways, carry on. So the playbook is something I'll cover again in the future. I didn't do that in this period, partly because I was building it up. But yeah, the daily report card was crucial for me. And then the last, as I said, but definitely not least, was the data. Recording accurate data. Like, genuinely, the data is our mapped profitability. Like, we covered this this trade for like 13 days, etc. And there's a whole bunch of other trades here that took days to play out. And there's days where I would hit a loss and then show up the next day. And my data was the reason I was able to do that. The reason that I was like, you know what, I know all I have to do is keep showing up and just keep executing. And before, I will wrap this up now, but before, like I mentioned, I was recording my data maybe 60-70% of the time. And even in that 60-70% of the time, the amount of data that was accurate, 100% accurate, was even less. I've said this before, but I was like just making my stop loss a little bit tighter, giving myself a little bit more pips that I'd made, fucking leaving out losses, and just lying to myself. Again, it's just the ego, just the fucking ego, just wanting to be right and just not wanting to be wrong. But yeah, like, this has been just my absolute savior, just being able just to go through and just see everything. Like, okay, what's my best hour? What's my best day? What's actually working? And just being able just to see it, just to look at it, and just, yeah, it just, for me, it was everything I needed to have that confidence to actually be able to hold trades to fruition. So man, that's everything I put down here. As I said, you can grab the toolkit. It's got a bunch of templates that I used. You can record your data in there, etc. But really, man, like, if you've been looping, if you've been, say, break even or even losing, but you know that you have a profitable system, it can change like that, like genuinely like that. It can be tomorrow, you can wake up and be profitable tomorrow, then the next day you got to wake up and be profitable that day. And when I say be profitable, it doesn't matter if you make or lose money. That doesn't matter, man. It's doing the actions that a profitable trader does. The actions are these things down here: the if this, the net statements, recording the data, showing up on time, showing up in a solid state, not being pissed the night before. Even better if you hit some meditation, hit some breath work. That was golden for me. But yeah, doing this stuff, getting consistent, reducing the risk to reward, just getting some wins on the board. Like, my first withdrawal was 500 quid. I made that, and then I didn't trade again until I made that withdrawal. Once I made that withdrawal, I was like, holy shit. Like, I went clothes shopping and just bought stuff for the first time in ages, and it was just a surreal feeling. Next withdrawal, 1,000, and then just gradually just increased. And some months it goes down, but I know that the next month I'm like, okay, I'm going to come back bigger, better. And yeah, man, you have the power to do it now. You have everything you need. You have it there. Just fucking do it, bro. Lots of love. I will catch you in the next one. Ciao.